Hey everyone, so I wanted to make a video about breastfeeding, just some tips and tricks about getting started the first few days, the first week, and so on. So the first few days are the most difficult. You're a new parent, you're a new mom, you want to breastfeed, but you have no idea what to do. You looked up videos and you researched, but it's different than actually putting those thoughts and plans into action. Now, I'm going to tell you what you already know. Breastfeeding hurts for the first few days. The first 4 days to a week, it is painful. Your nipples are going to shrivel up and die, pretty much. Not literally, but it does hurt really bad. You're frustrated because you're not getting a proper latch. He's frustrated because he's not getting enough food, or he's trying really hard and he doesn't know exactly how to latch on. But you just need to calm down, relax, and tell yourself that it gets easier. It really does get easier. Now, newborns sleep a lot, and trying to wake up a sleeping baby is difficult, especially a newborn. You know, they don't know that they need to wake up to eat. They don't realize it, and they're not really that hungry, but they do need to get in the habit of eating. So my son lost 10% of his body weight in the first 2 days of his life, and that scared me. My doctor told me, he's like, you're going to have to supplement with formula or your baby's going to keep losing weight like this. And after that appointment, I put my foot down and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. My son is going to be breastfed and he's going to be exclusively breastfeeding. He's not going to have any formula ever. It's not going to happen. And he hasn't had any formula to this day. And I'm very proud of myself for that. I told myself after that appointment, I got home and I looked up ways to wake up your baby to eat, ways to make sure that you're getting a good latch and all that kind of stuff. And just I think the hardest part was the sleeping. I mean, he would sleep so much. So stuff that I felt that worked was undressing them, talking to him constantly, moving him around a lot. They're not gonna break. You move them, you wake them up. What I did was I would take off his blanket. If he was wearing a onesie, I'd take everything off. I would change him. I would I would run under cold water, and then I would touch him with it, and he would wake up. There are certain points on their body that you can touch to kind of keep them awake while they're eating. Their foot, you apply some pressure to their foot. Don't pull hard, but pull on their little toes. Their spine, rub up and down, not too hard or anything, but just apply little bits of pressure just in certain parts of their body, and they will stay awake. It was very hard the first few days, though, because he just wouldn't stay awake. And as soon as my milk came in, though, it was like a whole new world to him. He was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I need this stuff in my life. I'm hungry. So yeah, once your milk comes in, trust me, it'll be a lot easier. Now, your nipples might not think that way, but your baby will. So for your nipples, to help with the pain and stuff, I suggest you buy this stuff. I know basically every breastfeeding video is going to say the same thing. This stuff right here is amazing. I do have this. It's by Oliva Naturals nursing balm. This is the one that I bought before I gave birth, because I don't know, it was a little bit cheaper than the Lancino cream, and I was like, it's natural. It's definitely gonna help. It soothed my nipples, but it didn't help heal them at all. My nipples just kept getting worse and worse, even using this stuff constantly. So I finally put my foot down and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go get it, and I got it, and this stuff right here healed my nipples within a few days. I mean, literally nipple savers. This stuff right here is a nipple saver. I mean, this is still like full pretty much, and I don't even need to use it anymore because my nipples are toughened up and everything, and you know, I mean, my nipples were so cracked and blistered when I bought this. Literally 2 or 3 days later, they were so much better. Sure, they were still a little blistered, but this stuff, it really, really helps. I would suggest this over any other cream because, I mean, it's widely available. You can get this at your pharmacy, you can get it at Walmart, Target if you have a Target. I don't, sadly. I wish Target was still in Canada. I miss Target. Just saying. So, that's the first few days. You gotta keep telling yourself that it gets easier because you are going to be so frustrated trying so hard to feed your baby, and he's gonna get frustrated, and it's so difficult. But trust me, it gets better. When your milk comes in, you will notice a difference in the way that they eat. Before your milk comes in, they have to try really hard to get anything to come out. So it'll be like suck, 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 pause. Suck, 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 pause. Suck, 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 pause. But when your milk comes in, I mean, it's literally like gulp, 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 gulp. And it's long. I mean, Grayson, you'll hear when he swallows because it's like gulp, gulp. You know, like a clicking noise. Yeah. He's adorable. He's asleep in his swing. I keep looking over there. Can't help it. But, yeah, I mean, you'll know that they're getting milk because they'll constantly gulp. I mean, it's like gulp, 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 gulp. They'll take breaks. You know, he'll still go gulp, pause, gulp, 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 pause. But for the most part, I mean, there's just long stretches of him just drinking. And honestly, he will sit there and eat for like 10 minutes and then he's done. He just, you know, I mean, because I don't know if my letdown is so quick and he just gulps it right up or what, but he just doesn't eat for that long. The first few days, though, he did, I mean, it was like 30, 45, you know, sometimes almost an hour that I would be sitting there with him on my nipple, and I would just be in so much pain. But once you get a proper latch down, it's so much easier. For a proper latch, what I would suggest doing is making sure that your position is good. You really need to have a comfortable position to help with getting a proper latch. For me, I was trying the cross-cradle position because that's what you see in breastfeeding, like everywhere. You see her right there. I mean, that position is everywhere. But for me, it was so difficult to get a proper latch in that position. So what I ended up doing was switching to the football hold. So much easier. Now we mainly do the cross-cradle position, but yeah, the football hold was really easy to learn breastfeeding with. I mean, you hold them like a football. Their legs are back here, their head is in your hand, and you just hold them right up against your nipple. And it is fantastic. Also, to try and help you get a proper latch, I would suggest what I do is I'll hold my boob and I'll push the bottom part of my areola and my nipple down onto his lip. I mean, because his mouth is already open, so I'll push it down into his mouth, and he'll close down all around it. Sometimes I'll have to fix his upper lip because it'll be like here's your nipple or your boob, and it'll be down all like this, but it needs to be like pushed out, you know, like so he's sucking like that. Sometimes it'll be like that. And what I would do is I would just take my finger or my thumb and I'll just push up his lip, and that helps. So that's all I really have written down. But I mean, you just got to keep telling yourself the first week is the hardest, and once you're through that, it is so much easier and it's so enjoyable, and it's a really good bonding experience, you know. I didn't have any problems with cluster feeding. I know some women have a really hard time where their baby is literally just eating and eating and eating and eating and for hours at a time. But my little guy didn't have a problem with that, thankfully. So if you go through that, more power to you. But oh yeah, and these little drops, you have to do vitamin D drops. For me, what I do is before I breastfeed him, I'll just put a drop on my nipple, and there you go. Some people put it like on their finger and let them suck for 30 seconds, but I just put it on my nipple, and there you go. Yeah, so I think that's everything. I hope I covered enough, and yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!